And we're live at the Dad's Unfiltered podcast. Very first podcast. I'm Big Brian, Big Pick, whatever you want to call me. And that's my man over there. I'll let him introduce himself.
Yeah, I'm Chad. I don't want no nicknames. No name.
Nice introduction. That's
Yeah.
very good. So, all right.
Yeah.
This is the Dad's Unfiltered podcast. We're just going to talk about whatever comes up, whatever's on our mind, things that bug us.
Unfiltered.
Things we don't unfiltered.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No political correctness. No. Yeah.
No trying to save people's feelings because I don't know. I just want to say what's on my mind, what I really feel, and I know there's people out there that change things they say to save people's feelings when deep down they don't believe it. So I do that. I'm guilty as anyone. I do it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I'm doing this, trying to get out of my own way. I hold myself back and just try not to.
Yeah. So anyway, all right.
Yeah.
So we're podcasting. This is our first podcast.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to bear with us. We're still learning how to control this technologically. Turn this off. So what do you want to get into today? First podcast.
Yeah.
Gotta make it a good one.
Yeah, right.
So
I think for the most part we'll be going over many different subjects in the future. And but today, I don't know, you wanted to talk about minimum wage and different subjects?
yeah, it's just something that's been on my mind the past couple days. Seen some different people I know posting things about it.
Yeah.
Just wanted to give my view, whether it's right or wrong. It's my view. And I'm all about everybody making money, making a good living, supporting their family. But I just do not agree with a $15 minimum wage. I don't. The money comes from somewhere, like we talked earlier, and the companies aren't going to eat the profit that they're losing. It's going to be passed on to consumer. So I want you to think about, you go to McDonald's, get yourself a cheeseburger. Right now it's $3-4. Okay. They raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. You're going to be paying $7-8 for a burger. Like, I just don't think people realize what an impact it would have.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, I completely agree with you. Someone goes to school or you're doing a hard manual labor job, and someone that's going to work at McDonald's is going to make the same as you. It just doesn't make sense to me. But also, it's not supposed to be a job that you have the rest of your life. And
I agree. Those minimum wage jobs, we had them when we were in high school, when we were working through college, or if you need extra money or something, I've seen people, they go work at UPS around the holidays just to get extra money for the holidays and things like that. Like, I think that's what those jobs are for. I just don't see how somebody wants a career flipping burgers or,
Mm-hmm.
frying French fries. It just doesn't. It's not a career. I don't.
Well, I'll play devil's advocate, and most people say they can't find jobs to make decent money.
I'm gonna call bullshit. It may not be what you want to do, but there's jobs out there that pay decent. Um, like I said, it might not be what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You might be working out in the heat as a laborer or something like that, but they're out there. I just disagree.
Yeah, and I agree because I mean, first off, we both have worked construction and worked different jobs in many different categories, and obviously we didn't want to do it, but
No, we went where the job was and where the money was.
that's where the money was. Yeah.
There are people out there that find a job and they love their job, but I have yet to find that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I go where the money's at. And I think you get in one of those jobs, such as a McDonald's or Burger King, and you raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, people aren't as ambitious anymore. When I worked those jobs, I was like, this sucks. I want something different. And you try harder to find something better. You try to better yourself.
Right.
I
What about
just think,
what about for the people that can't work construction and harder labor jobs that physically cannot do?
there's other things out there. I mean, we live in a technological world, You gotta go to school, learn something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have to work minimum wage while you're going to school, and it's not gonna be easy, but the satisfaction you get when you finally complete it, it's like, I did this. I worked and went to school. I put myself through school. You know what I mean? You just
Mm-hmm.
feel accomplished. I'd imagine. I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, I agree. Now when they talk about minimum wage going up
Yeah,
to 15, will that affect everyone else? Will their pay go up also?
that's another argument. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I see it a lot of like EMTs or things of that nature. These people out here, like firefighters and things like that, they're only making, 13, 14, $15 an hour as it is right now. And to me, their job takes way more skill and is way more dangerous than a burger flipper. And I don't think it's right that you're just going to jack the minimum wage up to 15, and then you got these people out here doing this that are only making 15 now, that are risking their lives. And okay, so you raise minimum wage to 15.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't necessarily mean the people that are working these other jobs are going to be able to fight for more money, because it just doesn't work that way. Like, I work in a union shop and you fight for every dollar you get right now. So I can't imagine that these people are just going to, oh, well, minimum wage is 15. I think we deserve more. And their company's just going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I think so too. Here's a $5 raise. I just don't see it happening. I
Yeah.
don't know. What do
I
you think?
I I think it's a lot of people getting out of school and they expect privilege to they think it's privilege to automatically make a certain amount of money without doing anything.
Well, yeah,
That
it's our
they're
generation, the millennials.
right.
They all want something for nothing, and I
You
don't know.
deserve it.
I know both of us have worked since we were before we were of legal age to work. We've always worked. That's just,
Right.
nothing was handed to us. This
Yeah.
white privilege they say we have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
And we also grew up in a country where there wasn't a lot of jobs to pick from.
No. And we still found jobs, didn't we?
Yeah.
So that's why I called bullshit earlier. I just
Mhm.
don't believe it. Yeah, it might not be the nice, cushy, you know, office job or the high paying, whatever career that you're looking for, but
Mhm.
there are jobs out there that pay decent and you can make a living at.
Yeah.
No, you might not be able to drive around in a brand new $70,000 pickup truck, but whatever, you know.
Well, I'm 32 and I'm still not driving around a brand new pickup truck.
Trust me, I would love to have one if
Yeah.
anybody wants to get me one,
Yeah.
but it's just not. I look at things differently. It's not a necessity,
Right.
and the biggest thing is you just have a place to live. Your kids are happy and fed, and you're not struggling. I mean,
Mhm.
there's times that we still struggle, but
Right. Well,
that's life, dude.
yeah, definitely. And we're also looking at this. We are both dads, which is why our podcast is called Dads Unfiltered. So we understand, but you have to work for what you're going to get. Nothing's given
Right,
to you.
and that's my biggest thing. I think with it, you hear people complaining, "Oh, we need to make a livable wage. It's not fair that we work 40 hours a week and we can't survive." I get that part of the argument. Yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
sucks, but you gotta you gotta do for yourself. I don't care what any of these politicians promise you or say they're gonna do. They don't care about you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I said, it's not the solution that you're looking for. It's gonna be,
Well, it's just going to jack up the prices for everything else, and you're going to be in the same situation you were
and
before.
I've also seen there's companies that have said if they raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, they'll either have to close the doors because they can't afford to keep running, or they're going to have to cut the jobs that they do have in half. So
Right.
then you're out of jobs anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. The workforce be cut in half.
Right. So we already have to compete with these other countries, China, Vietnam, Japan. You know, it's just,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't think it's the solution that you're looking for.
Yeah. I don't think it is. And I don't, I mean, did they say it's going to pass through where it's going to be like that?
No, they're just fighting for
I
it.
know it's the argument, and
Yeah.
I
It's
keep
just something
seeing
I've seen pop up
a
past
lot.
couple days. And I see people that are for it and they're getting mad at, you know, people like myself that just don't agree.
Hmm.
That, you know, like I said, I work for a union shop. I'm, recording secretary for the union. I'm a unit griever. I'm involved in the union, and even my union's pushing for this $15 an hour, and I just do not agree. Like,
Oh, they are.
yeah,
What's their reasoning for that?
just speak to make people have a better life and
Just
be able to survive off 40 hours. And
right. Well, I guess the union's not the actual people paying.
my thing is too, okay, if you want something like this, unionize. Then you get to negotiate your pay and negotiate a contract, negotiate health care.
Right. So in your situation, I don't work for a union. I've never worked for a union. Your union's fighting to bring up minimum wage to 15, but they're
Yeah,
not
they're
the actual people that are paying the
no,
workers.
no,
They're just fighting for the work.
fighting for the workers.
Hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I get why they're trying to get it then.
But not everybody in the union agrees either. Some people are along the lines of the way I see it. If you want better, unionize and then negotiate contracts. That's, collective bargaining.
Hmm.
That's a way to get things that you want.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know a lot about the union. I don't agree with everything
No, I
in
don't
the
either.
union.
I don't either. Uh, the union is very, very far left. They
Right.
almost side with the left every single time. Um, it was interesting this past election, though, because there were a lot that went to the right
Mm.
and voted for Trump. And
Because he was for the blue collar.
right, coal. He was big. Coal workers and things were big on Trump because he said he was going to bring coal mines back, and he was against NAFTA, which is the big trade agreement that Bill Clinton passed when he was in office, which is a
Mhm.
disaster. Um, once that was passed, we've lost so many jobs overseas because we just can't. You can't compete with slave labor, basically. You know,
Right.
it's just, I don't know, and that's what I'm saying. Uh, I've seen the right bring up subjects of Americans make too much money, blah blah blah. I I don't totally agree with that, but I don't think you can be paying burger flippers $15 an hour. That's just
Right.
not. It's you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
I think there's other jobs that deserve to be paid more, such as a firefighter, an EMT, our military men and women, cops. You
Mhm.
know, you don't think they deserve more money rather than give it
Teachers.
to somebody that's microwaving hamburgers and putting them on a bun?
Yeah. I mean, if you give someone that works at McDonald's or Starbucks or somewhere $15 an hour, they're gonna. How much does a teacher make? It's not that much.
No. And a teacher, they play an important role in our lives. They're molding us to be productive adults and
Mhm. Yeah. And as
be good
adult,
citizens.
as a father, I realize it now, having kids, how big of a role it is.
Yeah.
Obviously, when we were in school, you don't realize or care.
Your teachers basically, they play a huge role in raising your kids.
Mhm.
I think they deserve the world, to be honest with you.
Right.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, no. Definitely way more money than they make.
Right. Right. And that's teachers have been under attack for a couple years now as far as their pensions too. The government wants to take their pensions away or
Mhm.
restructure them, and that's something I don't agree with. These congressmen and senators, they get fat pensions when they retire. And I just don't understand why our teachers and law enforcement and military men and women just can't. Just leave them the hell alone.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, they
I don't have a problem paying for that kind of stuff. You know
no.
what I mean? Because that comes out of our taxes, basically. I don't have a problem paying for things like that. So,
No, definitely not. I never have. And I with the tax thing, I don't mind paying taxes. I just wish we knew where our taxes were going. It would
right.
be nice if we could get like a receipt saying this amount of money went to this went to that.
Yep.
Then I wouldn't mind at all.
There's a lot of wasteful spending, too.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing, where we live, school tax. And I know our taxes up in this area went up again this year, the maximum amount.
Mm-hmm.
And our school board's claiming they have a surplus. And it's like, I don't know. I just wonder sometimes where this money goes. So,
Yeah. Well, they definitely blow money and we don't know where it goes. uh
well, another thing that bugs me is I live outside the city. My kids don't go to city schools, but I
county.
know people that live and work at the cities, and their kids go to city schools, and there's teachers at these city schools that there's not enough money to buy supplies for the kids. The teachers are taking it out of their own pockets to buy school supplies. I just,
Mm.
you see that one school's struggling,
Mm-hmm.
but then you move outside the city to these other schools that have surplus. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why they can't, all the money can't be evenly distributed, or
They don't do.
somehow, if you have a surplus, some of your money should go to help the school that doesn't have any money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, maybe they don't deserve it because they live in the city.
That's bullshit.
Right. It definitely is. Yeah. Yeah, I don't
Because,
get it.
and the thing about, like, I know up here in York, um, a lot of the city schools don't get enough money because a lot of the businesses in the city are nonprofit, so they don't pay. Their money doesn't go in towards the school tax to help fund schools. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a nonprofit or not for profit, one of those. You know,
Right.
I just don't think that's right either.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know a ton about this. I know I have opinions. I read the headlines like everyone does. Don't actually read the articles. I try to, but I don't there's got to be a way to fix everything, but the problem is if you live in a nice area, you want your money to go to that school. You don't necessarily want your money to go. I mean, it's not right. I'm not saying it's right. It's just
No, I agree. And
I don't
maybe
know.
I'm taking like a socialist thought process on this, but
Mhm.
I just, if you have more than enough, why not give? Why shouldn't some of it go to help these other schools?
Yeah.
Because the only ones that suffer are the kids. That's it,
Mhm.
you know? And it
Yeah.
just becomes that endless cycle of, they're not getting the education they need. And, you know,
Mhm. It's definitely sad. My wife knows kids that go to schools in the city, and they don't even have a chance. There's no chance.
it's sad. And I don't know how you end that cycle. It's just,
Yeah.
it's one of those things that you just,
Well, I mean, in Baltimore, we live close to Baltimore. Obviously, we're Baltimore fans, but they're putting money into the Inner Harbor to make the Inner Harbor nicer right now. And they're more worried about doing that than actually fixing the city.
true.
Blocks away, it's terrible. But all they care about is the revenue they're going to make by making the Inner Harbor nicer. But that revenue, it will not go back to the city that the parts that need it.
Right.
And I don't know how you fix that. Not the way everything is structured, at least.
No. And the worst part about it is you have these politicians
Mhm.
promising the world and nothing ever happens. It's amazing.
No, they promised it. They use the communities as pawns just to get
Right.
votes. They don't
And
actually fix
that's the
anything.
left all the way. They use the
Mhm.
poor and the working class, promise them the world to get the votes, and then
Right. And you could probably say the same thing about the right going after the blue collar workers. And do they actually fix what they say?
no, none of them do.
Right.
No. I mean, there's a couple good ones, but
I almost feel like the government, they make these teams, but really the right and left are on the same side, but they use it to split us apart. And I could be wrong,
no, that's an interesting thought. You know,
because yeah, nothing really changes whether you have the left or right in office. For the most part, they still have the same goals long in the long road. I think I don't know.
Right. And that was I took a little criticism because I liked Bernie Sanders. Uh, I don't agree with the whole socialist structure as a whole, but I like some of the ideas like um college, free college. I like the theory, but I think there needs to be like strict guidelines. Just not some slacker that just barely made it through high school or you get what I'm saying, like I think you should still have to work hard to earn a free college education.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I don't mind paying taxes for that.
Right.
Having educated member US citizens only makes us a better country in my eyes.
Anytime you give something away, I don't really feel that you accomplish anything. No
No,
one, you don't respect it the same way. If I buy a car that I worked hard for, I'm going to take care of the car unless I'm
true.
16, 18. But for the most part, I'm going to take care of it, and if it was given to me, I'm going to beat the shit out of it and not care.
Right. That's why I say not necessarily just free. There should be strict guidelines. You have to meet these goals
Mm-hmm.
to be able to get it. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, you definitely. If you're working hard and you just can't afford it, then there should be things in place to help you out.
And then there's still arguments from, people that have went to college but had to work their whole entire way through, and earn it that way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's that argument. But I'm looking at it as a point of, okay, but if you didn't have to do that, it would have made your life 100 times easier. And I feel like if you can concentrate more on the actual task at hand, which would be going to college and learning what you're going to learn, rather than have to worry about paying bills and how you're going to pay for this and how you're going to eat this week, I feel like you could gain more from
Yeah.
that. But,
Yeah, I agree.
but I still think you should have to earn it in the
Right.
beginning,
Mm-hmm.
working hard in high school, middle school, high school to earn it. So I don't know how they could do that, but that's my
Yeah.
thought on that. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not sure on that subject. I've heard the arguments for both sides, and I know that was a big thing Bernie Sanders was behind,
Yeah.
but I wasn't sure how they could make that work because in the long run, schools are obviously they're out to make money also.
Right. And I also liked Bernie his thoughts on breaking up some of these big banks. Okay.
Mm.
In some of these banks, if they fail, that's our whole economy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's right. Our economy shouldn't be relying on a couple big banks.
Right.
You agree?
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
But I just liked a lot of his things. And
Well, who didn't agree with him? The rich. The rich didn't.
yeah, and I can see it from their point of view too.
But from what I heard, is if you are already rich, it's not like they could go back and tax the money you already have.
Right.
It's
Right.
pretty much from here on out.
Well, and that was my big argument when people were asking about Trump's taxes and he's never paid taxes and this and that. He played the system just like any of us would have too. I don't go to the tax man and be like, yeah, make sure you take my fair share out. I want to make sure that I pay as much as possible. No, you go and you're like, write off what you can write off. I want as much
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, I bought these clothes for work. You're gonna write off whatever you can.
So I just think they just get a little ridiculous with it. So
And I think everyone knows that, and that's why people didn't. The people that voted for Trump didn't care because they understood that because he
Right.
didn't. When he said that, it made sense to everyone.
Well, and I get frustrated at times because you do see how sometimes it seems like the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. But on the other side, some of these big CEOs and stuff, their life is their job. They don't have a family life. They don't have it's like you pick a path in life. We're family guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're home every day with our kids. We're going to baseball, basketball practices. These high power CEOs that making all this money, they don't do that.
Right.
You know, their
No,
their
someone else
career
is.
is their life. So in a way, they kind of deserve the money. You know what I mean? If that's what their life is about. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, I don't think that's why I don't agree. I'm in the middle on almost everything. I'm not a Trump supporter. I liked him better than Hillary, but I'm not a right or
True
left.
fact.
Yeah, I'm not a left or right guy. I don't think. I think I fall in the center on most things.
I agree. I'm the same way.
Yeah,
But it's funny how anytime there's an election, okay,
but oh yeah, if I was rich and I think of it like that, and anything I try to think about, I try to put myself in that situation. If I was rich, I wouldn't necessarily want to be taxed way more just because I'm successful.
right,
So I get where they're coming from.
right, I agree. Like it's their money, they earned it.
And yeah, why should?
Whether they earned it in some people's eyes, uh, well, how should I put this? In a moral fashion
Right.
is debatable, but
Yeah,
you know,
no, definitely. Definitely.
I don't know. I just don't look at things the same way as they do. Like, yeah, money is important. Money is everything's has money behind it some way or another.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't look at it as controlling my life. I try not to let it control my life.
Yeah. Well, I talk about all the time with people. I mean, obviously, money is the root of all evil. there, if there was a way to get money out of jails, medical, drugs, just everything, war. I don't know how you could possibly do that. You can't. But when it comes down to everything, money is the problem
Right.
in my eyes.
Right. And
But without money, how do you get people to work? And I don't know.
right. That's the motivation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if there no one had to worry about money, then you could actually do what you want to do. But
Well,
will the things be made that need to be made? Like who actually wants to shovel and who wants to do these things?
is that not the whole communist theory? Everybody gets the same amount, but you know, as long as you're working to do something productive for the community or for the country or community, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
then you have everything you need, your food, your shelter, your
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. Well,
all right.
I feel like for our first one, we're kind of going deep with these subjects. Maybe too deep for me.
Why?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not used to talking into a mic. This is new for me. I'm a very shy person, Brian.
It's not like there's any viewers on here right now anyway.
No, I'll get
See a
better.
big goose egg at the bottom.
Yeah, I'll get better. Just weird. Just got to talk more natural, I think. For me, not you.
Yeah, I just don't care.
Yeah.
Um, now I don't know where we were. Where we were. Good job, John.
I didn't stop the conversation. I guess I did. I fucked up.
Anyway,
No.
yeah, I just have grave concerns about raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour. I just do.
Yeah.
Do I agree that minimum wage may be too low right now? Possibly, but
What is minimum wage in Pennsylvania?
that I'm not even sure about. I'll have to look that up.
I know when we went to school it was $5.25.
Yeah, remember the days at old Maple Lawn Farms?
Mm-hmm. But I could also, I don't know what the price of gas and stuff was then, but I know it didn't cost as much to fill my car when I first got a car. But I also lived at home and I didn't have to worry about everything else. But that wasn't a job for to live on my own.
Summer job, you know.
Right. And then in the wintertime I worked at a restaurant or worked at a drugstore or I had multiple jobs.
So it looks like the PA minimum wage is $7.25 right now.
Yeah, that sounds pretty low.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that it's not low, and I'm not saying that it doesn't need to be increased as costs increase, but to go from 7.25 to 15.
Yeah, my biggest thing when you raise minimum wage, say from just say it was 10 in most states, and then they're going to raise it to 15. How is that fair to the worker that's making 18?
And I
their
get a
pay's
30.
not
I
going to
get
go
anywhere from a 30 to 50 cent raise a year on
right.
cost of living
So
raise.
all of a sudden, these people are coming in making a couple of
Exactly.
dollars less than you when you've been there for years to work your way up the ladder.
Right. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
If you want to make more money, get another job.
Right.
It's just learn a skill, learn a trade. That's the problem. Trades are dying because nobody wants to do them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then people complain that the Mexicans are coming and taking our jobs, but it's mostly jobs that people don't want to do.
True.
And they're there if you want it. I mean, I didn't want to shovel. I didn't want to do that shit. But the money was good and I wasn't going to work. I would not work at a McDonald's. I would work a real job. To me, that's not even a real job.
No.
In my eyes.
It's, I don't know. It's just crazy that people think that they deserve something.
I get it. If you have a medical disability or a reason that you can't do certain jobs.
Yeah, but the state offers training and things to do different kinds of jobs.
Right. And people with real disabilities also get money from the state, I'm sure.
Right. I don't know. I just disagree. I ain't trying to step on anybody's toes or anything like that, but I just don't agree with it.
Yeah.
So that's my view.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll get into that again as we keep seeing.
Yeah, I'll research a little more too because there's a lot of numbers involved.
Yeah.
With the actual impact it would have. So
right.
But I saw, I read a couple articles about, different companies were talking about if they did do this, that they'd have to shut the doors. They couldn't afford to pay those kind of wages and keep operating at a,
Right. Or you're going to get rid of half your workforce and then those people will have to pick up the slack and they're not going to make more money because of it.
Right. And something else I keep hearing is like they'll say, "Oh, well, that company made $1 million profit this year." Okay, yeah, they might have, but they can make $1 million profit this year and have a loss next year, and that $1 million profit has to cover both years. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not just for that one
You're
year.
not
You
gonna
got
have. You're
yeah,
not gonna
and
have.
you also have to put your money back into the company. It's not money that you're just
Right.
saving in your bank account for yourself.
It's not. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the companies we work for make money off of us.
Mm-hmm.
Like my job, I'm a machine operator. They pay me such an amount, and they charge their customers X amount.
If
Way
they did,
over what they pay me. But
if they
that's
didn't
how
have, yeah, if they didn't make money, then why the fuck would they
that's
own a
how business
business?
works.
I get it if it's a big company like Walmart that's making fucking billions of dollars or whatever they're making, and they don't offer health care or whatever.
Right.
They can afford that kind of company. I do agree that could afford to, and I think they have fixed some things, but
No, I'm not. See, that's not. I don't want to get it construed. I'm not saying that there aren't some companies out there that.
you're talking about the smaller businesses,
I'm just talking in general. Like,
right?
you have to understand how business works.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, especially as the economy goes up and down. You know, you're not going to have as good a year some years as other years, and that money has to carry you over to stay in business for the longevity. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
otherwise you'd be in business for 5 years and close up.
right.
You know, it's,
Yeah, I I don't know. I really don't know how. No matter what you do, people are going to complain, and it's not going to fix anything
no,
because you do raise the money, then the price of milk goes up, the price of
and you're in the same boat.
yeah. It
So
doesn't.
it's like,
It might screw the person that was there working for 10 years. That's not going to get that huge raise when they raise the minimum wage, and then the price of everything else goes up, and they're kind of getting 3% raise or whatever.
well, it's like in our shop too. We're about to negotiate a contract come February. Everybody's number one concern is money per hour. They don't realize how important healthcare is and how much that costs. Okay. And they want to fight for more money an hour rather than fight for lower premiums for our healthcare, which would save you a ton of money in the end. Like,
Right.
they don't understand that. Like, to me, that's one of the most important things would
Mm-hmm.
be the healthcare overpay. But
Yeah.
especially with as up and down as the healthcare is right now.
Yeah. I mean, I know for us, it's $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money when you have
Well, yeah, that's a lot of money.
2 kids and
That's a damn mortgage.
yeah.
I just don't think our
But and that's
gener-
yeah.
generation is as educated and thinks about these things. I don't know.
I also being I don't know. What do you consider middle class?
What is that?
Are you considered middle class?
I'd consider myself middle class. Yeah.
Right. So someone that's middle class, these companies charge you $1,000 for insurance, just say a month,
Mm-hmm.
health insurance. But if you're not middle class and you make less, and it doesn't even have to be that much less, you might be able to get insurance for free
Yeah.
through our government, well, through Obamacare and stuff. And that I don't think is fair because I know people that don't try at all, and they get money. And that's where the minimum wage thing is. There's people that don't work at all and make money because they
Right.
have kids. They get free health insurance, free money every month, food stamps, And then the people that are working for minimum wage, they are kind of getting screwed because of they could almost not work and make just as much.
Right.
So there is an argument there, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I also agree with drug testing people on that are getting help from the government.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I agree too.
So
100%. There's too many people that I know people that in the past that would get food stamps and you could go to gas stations and they would take $20, but they would give you cash back
mhm,
or they would charge you whatever they wanted to.
right, right.
It's
It's fucked up.
yeah. I think the whole system, there's always corruption in every category you look at.
Well, I look at it like I can't use drugs and work where I work. I have to get a drug test when I get hired, and I have random drug tests. If I get hurt, I get drug tested.
Mm-hmm.
So I do not see a problem with drug testing people that are getting government assistance.
No, I don't even know what's the argument against it besides the people that are on the drugs.
I don't know. I guess maybe I don't
I'm
know.
sure. I'm sure there is. I'm sure. Place like Facebook, I've seen headlines, and I'm sure you look at the article, read the comments, and people are fighting against it. I'm sure.
I don't know if you consider it. I don't know. I don't know what your argument against it would be.
Well, if you're on
Taking away
drugs,
your
I get it.
privacy,
Yeah, right.
but it's just I don't know. That's another that bugs me, but that's another subject. So
Yeah.
we'll leave that alone for a little while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. As we go, we're gonna be much more smooth in between this, and it would be more. I feel like just be more natural and just talk about these subjects.
right.
But I know Narcan's a big subject in the news lately.
Yeah, over the past couple of days, I've seen some different things posted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 3 strike rule.
Yeah, this was proposed in a small town in Ohio. Basically, they're saying that the cost of Narcan is doubling each year so far. So where it started out as I forget the numbers, but it was like 15,000 that this one little town was spending on Narcan. Now it's jumped to 30,000.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying they can't afford it.
Hmm.
So they're proposing a law that if basically 3 strikes, 3 times you have to get Narcan used on you. Uh, the, the next time you might not get help.
The 4th time they just leave you.
Yeah, basically.
Hmm.
So I feel some kind of way about that. I don't know.
Yeah, I do too. Also, the money thing. Who the taxpayers pay for that, right?
I'd imagine, yeah.
So so the county's not actually they're the money's just not going where they want it to.
Basically. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
When they give people Narcan, are they just arresting these people and then expecting them to be clean and never need it again?
Well, I don't even know if you necessarily get arrested if you get it, do you?
I guess it depends on a situation. I know most states now, if your friend was to OD, you don't get in trouble if you call them. But
Yeah.
I don't know about the person that actually OD'd. If they have drugs on them, I would imagine they would still get in trouble. But I'm not sure about
That's
that
what you're right
actually.
about. Yeah, it depends. Guess the situation.
Mm-hmm. Oh well, actually, I have seen. I was at Wawa in Maryland, and there was someone OD'd in the bathroom, and I heard the cop come out and say, "This is the first time I ever had to use Narcan." This is a couple of years ago when it first came out, Narcan, and they had him in handcuffs. So I imagine they arrested him.
Yeah. Well,
But instead of trying to fix these people, they just throw you in jail and expect you that to be enough to cure the problem.
right.
But at the same time, even if you do it 3 times, if it was my child or anyone I know, I would want them to, even if it was the 4th time, I'd want them to use it. Why? I don't see how that's okay.
Well, and that's the thing that bugs me most is reading people's comments. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
let the pieces of shit die, and it's like, fuck you.
And it's all people that never don't know someone personally that's
Right.
real close to them that's on drugs or understand it at all. They just
That's
think
like,
that you can just say, most people say, well, you have kids. That should be enough. Like, you shouldn't do drugs because you have kids. If that was the case, then all these people with kids would not be on drugs.
right.
But that's not enough. It's a much deeper issue than that.
And would you be willing to wager that a good amount of people that get hooked on drugs started out with a prescription from a doctor?
Right.
We've all taken prescriptions from a doctor, and it's just some people it has a different effect on. And once you get that feeling, and then you don't want that feeling to go away. I don't
Right.
know. So then you go,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, you take a prescription, and someone like me that is shy or depressed, you take that, and you all of a sudden you're like, oh wow, I feel great.
mm-hmm,
I never, you didn't, and you took it for an injury, and then you realize how good you feel.
right. Before you know it, you're out on the street looking for more.
Right. That's all it takes.
And it's not, that doesn't make you, in my eyes, that doesn't make you a bad person. It's just you're misguided or you're lost.
Right.
Like, that's my biggest thing. Like I said, these people are all, oh, yeah, let the piece of shit die. I'm all for this. It's like, fuck you. Like, if that was your loved one, you would not be saying that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
No, definitely not.
all these people are their mothers and fathers and sons and daughters and brothers and sisters. It's their somebody loves them and wants to see them do better. And I've had my own issues, and I've
Mm-hmm.
been around people that you hear their story and they're, you know, they were out there and they made it back, and now they're helping other people make it
Yeah.
back. And it's like, if you just give up on somebody, it's just I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel some
I've
kind of
tried
way about that.
I've tried explaining that to people that you have to have hope that they can, because there are people that have done it and can do it and be successful after fucking up and getting caught in that trap.
And not to mention, those people, and a lot of them end up helping other people.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know what I mean? Saving other people's lives,
A
showing
lot of
them the
them
path back.
a lot of them become counselors or many things.
It's just
Or
fucked up.
just at NA meetings helping people, I guess.
It's like we're playing judge, jury, and executioner all in the streets now. Just
Mm-hmm.
like the same argument with policemen and having to shoot people and stuff. That's a decision I would never want to make.
Yeah.
But
I don't think it's a decision even they can make
no,
personally. I mean, there might be select few people that can really control themselves, but for the most part, I don't think that the average person can make that decision or without panicking or like under that kind of stress.
Okay, well let me because the person I saw that posted this on my Facebook feed, uh, I won't say any names, but at what point do you stop? Okay, these people. She says she's all for it after 3 strikes, especially if it's within a year. Okay, all right. Well, how about after 3 failed relationships, we just let you die somewhere?
Right.
How about after 3 car accidents on the fourth time, we don't send any ambulances to help you. We just let you die. Like,
Yeah.
at what,
Yeah.
how can you justify one thing and not?
Well, I did see some of the people's argument wasn't necessarily that um they just agreed with it, but they were saying like that if they had cancer and needed chemotherapy, they don't get that drug for free to cure them. Right? You have to pay for that.
Okay, that's a good point.
That was and that there was a couple good points I saw. Most people were just saying dumb shit like that.
Okay, that's a good point. But
But the chemo thing is you can't just give someone a shot and then they come back to life.
no.
It is a little different.
But are
And
you
then
just justifying one thing with something else that maybe needs to be fixed?
right.
Maybe chemo shouldn't be the way it is. Maybe we
Right.
should be trying to fix that
Yeah.
instead
I
of
agree.
just saying, well, if they can't get this, then these people should just die. They should
Right.
be able to get this for free. I
Yeah.
don't know.
No, I agree. There you can't just put one problem onto another.
No,
Just because something else isn't right doesn't make it okay.
right. I just don't agree with it. Another thing I don't agree with.
No, I don't agree with it.
Maybe I have
I don't. I.
a different view on it because of the things I've been through or
Mm-hmm.
have friends that have been through or still going through. I just, we've had my wife's we've had family die from
Yeah.
OD.
Yeah.
And, I know their family suffers all the time still.
Right.
And if there was a chance that somebody could have been there to give them that Narcan, anybody would take that. Like, it's just,
Yeah. And say it was the third time in the ambulance, they come and they could actually save you, and they just let you.
that's what I'm saying.
There is that
You're
is
playing
something.
judge, jury, and executioner right there.
Yeah. There's something
How
fucked up.
how is that any different than these nurses or doctors that have gotten in trouble for helping people pass along that were suffering?
Mm.
How's that any different? Those people got in trouble for murder. No,
Well, that's a different issue. I there
but
is
how is
part of
it?
me.
It's the same. It's the same thing. They didn't give. They were saying that those doctors didn't have the right to do that,
Oh, right.
to play God, basically.
I see what you're saying, and but in this case, they can.
Yeah. How? Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I didn't word that right, but
No, yeah, no, I agree. I was gonna say I do agree that you should on the other subject that you should that if you want to that they should be allowed to ease you on,
no, I agree. Oh my
but
god, I agree.
that's a different subject.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I get what you're saying now. Yeah, it's fucked up. I mean, especially because the government. I've been watching that show. There's
Well, it's just like
have,
okay.
have you seen the war? There's a new show on TV, The War on Drugs.
No, I haven't seen
And it
it.
just shows that how much our government is involved with every drug that comes around, like with
Oh,
acid and with heroin and with cocaine. Like every war that we were in, it's came because of our government. But then they want to put it on us, and even with the prescription thing, it's not drug dealers. I mean, it is if you consider doctors drug dealers,
yeah.
and then you go to the real drug dealer, but it's all the whole system's fucked because I think about it a lot. Like, how do you fix it? Like, I don't know how you fix it or help cure these people on heroin Because I obviously even counseling doesn't necessarily help them.
No.
Because I know there's too many people I know that go and just don't. It
Yeah.
doesn't work.
Right.
But when you really look at it, a lot of it, maybe our government, maybe it was people in there, maybe it wasn't necessarily something they had a meeting about saying they were going to do this, but it was people inside that did it.
That had interest that
Right. Individuals.
They were getting money or kickbacks, whatever.
Right. And the same with jails. They like arresting people for drugs. It's easy. And then they make money for you being in jail.
Yeah,
it's a big
big controversy with privatization of the jail system. It becomes a business instead of just,
right. And the same with Narcan. I personally believe it's obviously it's about the money, but even if the drug was really cheap, I almost think, and this is like a conspiracy theory, but I think that if they know so many people are using this drug, and maybe the drug doesn't cost that much to make, but they know everyone's using it, they're going to jack that price of that drug up.
Right.
And then it might be outrageous for them to have to pay for all these people that have to use it. But I think it's because of the system, not necessarily because the drug's so expensive.
Well, I saw that argument too about like that EpiPen that they're charging a ridiculous amount of money for. People were like, we got to pay for this, and these guys are just getting a free shot to bring them back to life because they were abusing drugs. I get that. That's not right.
Yeah, that guy that bought the Wu-Tang album for millions of dollars, Martin or Mark, he has a weird name, but he's a white guy that jacked up the price on one of those drugs, and people hate him.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a outrageous percent that they jacked it up. It didn't even make sense, but they're looking at it from a business, but they have to be held accountable for that.
Well, and it's like I talked with my wife about it. She's a nurse, and she says she sees people that use it as a crutch. Like they know they can be saved, so they go balls to the wall.
That's definitely true.
How do you filter out those people that are? I mean, I guess obviously everybody's abusing it. If you're, I don't know. That's tough. It's just tough, but
yeah, maybe they are doing more because they know they can be saved.
But even then, still,
But how you can't even prove that. So how do you know?
And that's pretty risky too, because you have to hope that somebody finds you, and
it's not 100% that it's going to work.
No, yeah, that's true. Especially with some of these like other drugs that have been going around, like the fucking elephant tranquilizer or whatever the hell that was.
Fentanyl, and then the other one that's like 100% stronger than that.
Yeah.
They were saying that paramedics were ODing just breathing in the dust or something.
They had cops patting people down.
Maybe it was cops, yeah.
And they OD'd and they had to get, just from coming in contact with it. I saw a story where a cop had to get 2 or 3 shots of this Narcan to bring him back. And that was just from coming in contact with it. That's crazy.
Right. And how do those drugs get on the streets?
Other countries.
Is it from? Yeah.
I thought that one might have been from China or something.
Really?
Yeah. I think I read something like that. Don't quote me on that, but
yeah, it's crazy.
Well, it's just like all the other, the spice and all that shit, the fake marijuana. they pull one off the shelf and they go back to the lab, change one little element,
Right.
back out there again.
Yeah. And when it would just be safer to legalize marijuana
Right.
because no one's ever died from marijuana.
Well, I just read stories the other day that people were lacing weed with fentanyl.
I heard that too.
Now, do you think, okay, what's the best way to stop that? By legalizing and regulating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, that's the people that say that about all drugs. Even I don't necessarily agree with it, but there's a lot of people that think that heroin, cocaine, everything should be legal because then it's at least safer and you know what you're getting.
Right. And it takes the criminal element out of it.
Right.
But I don't know.
You're still gonna have the criminal element because people are still gonna try. I know, like, even with marijuana, I don't know if it's Seattle, one of the states that legalize it. The taxes are so goddamn high on marijuana that people are still buying it illegally because it's so expensive.
And how do they regulate that? That's what I want to know. How do they regulate whether it was something you bought or it's illegal? How do they?
I don't think you get in trouble unless they catch you like buying it, maybe, because
Okay.
you're still allowed to have a certain amount on you,
Right.
and you're allowed to grow it yourself at most all these states up to a certain amount.
Certain amount. Yeah.
So it must be like getting caught in the act. Yeah, I don't agree with that you should legalize, but there is part of me that understands that argument.
I do to a point, but I just think like, especially heroin, it's a different animal. It's not like, it's not, especially with a younger person.
Mm-hmm.
You do heroin one time, and that could be it. Like pot and stuff's not that, but I guess alcohol could be considered that too, because there's been kids that have died from alcohol poisoning.
I mean, my first time ever drinking, I was so sick.
So it
was bad.
That's probably the thing that bugs me the most is how alcohol is legal, but marijuana isn't. Right. That makes no sense to me at all.
Mm-hmm.
But
it doesn't make sense. But they don't even. You don't even hear that argument.
Hardly ever.
I mean, they're making too much money off taxes on that. They can't make it illegal now. Alcohol.
No, not now, but
I don't know what the argument is. The people that say that it is more dangerous, or if you tell someone there are people that still think that marijuana should be illegal and it's okay for alcohol.
Yeah.
People that I know that never really smoked. I guess it's because they never smoked, so they don't really get it.
Well, that fake propaganda has been punched into people's heads so much. Like, I still see that the biggest one is like that pot's a gateway drug. And
I mean, cigarettes could be a gateway drug. Alcohol could be a gateway drug.
In my eyes, it would be alcohol. That, to me, that I know that was the first thing I tried was alcohol.
Yeah. So, I think cigarettes was the first for me.
And alcohol is probably the easiest for a kid to get a hold of, especially if their parents drink.
Just grab the beer out of the fridge
or grab the bottle, drink some, and then put water in it.
Yeah, we used to do that.
My dad he'd cut a little notch on the label to where it was. And it's like, once we figured that out, you just put the
fill back up. Yeah, my friend's dad used to put a mark on it with marker or something. But we did the same thing. If it's clear, you just put water in it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to be really scary for when our kids get older, I can tell you that much.
Well, I think by then marijuana's going to be legal.
Yeah, it's headed that direction, I imagine.
And I think to teach the kids nowadays the truth about it. When we were in school, they had
The dare and the
right, and when they do that, it made me as a kid. I'm not saying everyone. They tell you how terrible every drug is, and then when you're a teenager and you smoke weed for the first time, you're like, this
Yeah.
isn't that
It's not
bad.
bad, yeah.
So maybe
They lied about this.
this cocaine's not that bad either.
Right.
So what do you believe once you realize they lied to you about the thing that isn't bad at all? And it is bad for some people. I mean, some people can't smoke weed. That's fine.
I just don't like it.
Yeah, right. And it affects everyone differently, just like alcohol does. Some people love alcohol.
That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
But
But I mean, but everyone's different. So
no,
different.
it's like this life's hard, and you got to find some way to cope with things. And
Yeah.
it might not be the healthiest thing, but I don't know.
The way I see it personally, for me, is if I'm not hurting anyone else, but I'm enjoying life
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still working, then what is the issue? Now there are people that can do heroin that way too, though.
Yeah, yeah.
There are functional drug addicts.
Right.
So,
And even though you may think you're not hurting somebody, you still may be.
yeah, that's definitely true.
You know, you may not be spending as much time with your kids or
Mm-hmm.
time with your wife, or
Right. Just because you're working doesn't mean you're
exactly.
Yeah.
When you're home and you're not really home though, because you're just trashed all the time.
Yeah, that's something I learned in my past. I thought everything was good. Working, making money. Everything seemed good. I was happy, at least in my head. I thought I was.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's life's hard. And everyone's trying to figure out why. I mean, almost everyone's trying to figure out the meaning of life almost.
And what our purpose is, and
Right.
right.
I mean, there are some people that are just naturally happy, and
How'd that Pacquiao fight end up?
I don't even know. I recorded it.
I turned it.
Yeah. I'm sure after this is our very first podcast. Obviously, everyone can tell. But yeah, like crazy one, like
but doesn't that make the best podcast?
I guess from what I'm reading, Manny Pacquiao just got screwed over by the judges.
Decision. What was this score?
I guess it was an Australia guy in Australia. So you're kind of fucked if it goes to the decision.
What was the score?
I don't know. I've just seen the post. I don't know though. Some people are saying, I don't know. I'd have to watch it, honestly. It's a dangerous thing to fight someone in their country.
Right. Yeah, you better knock their fucking ass out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or beat the fuck out of them.
Yeah. Even then, though, we've seen fighting, especially in the UFC, where the guy dominates the fucking fight and he still loses.
True. Yeah, that's something else that needs to be fixed.
I think the judges need, if you make a crazy call like that, you have to sit in a room in front of whoever's in charge and watch the fight and tell them exactly what you saw and why you scored it this way. And be held accountable. Because otherwise, they don't have to answer for anything. See, talking about fighting, I could be way more natural. That's my thing. No.
Decision 75, 77, 77, 76, 77, 76.
I'm gonna watch it later.
That's not too bad. I mean, that's
Yeah, I mean, unless the fight was like completely lopsided and the score was like that.
yeah, but all the scores are pretty
Close.
yeah. That one 75-77.
Was that what put it over? Or were they off for the other guy? All those scores, the 75.
I don't know.
What's your opinion? What's your opinion on uh, in NFL with Zach Orr? Played for the Ravens. Said he had a back injury. Couldn't play. Retired. Got out of his contract because he retired.
Okay.
And now he's a free agent. And he's
Well,
coming back.
from what I read, Ravens were urging him to retire.
Right.
Did you read that?
Yeah, I saw that. Well, I didn't read that we were urging him to. I read that our doctors said that it was that he should.
Right. And
But
now
he didn't get a second opinion when they told him that. He just took that one thing and that's it.
I guess not. Maybe he was scared. I don't know. I don't know the whole story. But from what I'm reading now, he's wanting to come back because he did get
A second.
he has
opinion.
outside doctors saying he's good to go.
Seems like he should have done that before.
But the Ravens are saying like they're still not sure about like even
Yeah, they don't want him to be like get paralyzed and then.
Right. So
But
I guess if the Ravens don't want to take him back, then I guess he's gonna have to convince some other team that
right, but I don't think he's a complete free agent, so the Ravens don't have to take him back.
right.
Like even if the Ravens want him back, he doesn't have to go back.
No, right.
My thought is if you're gonna retire, like I believe in a normal team. If you don't like the team you're on, without an injury, and you say you retire, you have to leave for so long before you come back and be a free agent again. Like it's not like you come back that same year.
Well, how long's he been out?
He hasn't missed a season.
Okay.
It just happened. It was this off season that he. But in my eyes, I guess it's not in the contract, or a rule. But if you retire, at least I feel like the Ravens should have the first.
Okay, here's something right here. And this is from SB Nation.
Mm-hmm.
He says he did not get a second opinion. So he must have just took the Ravens doctor's word for it.
Right.
And retired.
Well, that's stupid, I think.
Yeah, but it's stupid, but I don't know. I'd probably be scared.
Well, I guess if the Ravens gave you the wrong advice, then I do get not wanting to go back there, I guess. I'm frustrated because he was such a good player.
In his statement, he's saying, after people found out I only went to one doctor, they were telling me, you've got to go get a second opinion. I guess that's where this all stemmed from. So,
yeah.
He must have went to one of these other doctors and they're like, oh, you're all right.
All right. Well, I get that then. I get that. But obviously the other teams, even if he's not okay, they might say that just...
Yeah, I mean, that's a risk. I don't know.
He was such a good player. I mean, he was a leading tackler for our team last year.
But
I saw that the Ravens, even if he was cleared by the doctors, they said that they don't want to take that risk, I guess. So,
yeah.
Or that's what you said that already.
Well, they're hesitant.
Yeah.
Leaning towards no.
But right. But it does seem like I guess it's different because the Ravens doctors are the ones, and I didn't know that the Ravens urged him to retire.
Right.
I thought he would. I've just guessed that he would have had multiple doctors and got a second opinion, something like that.
You'd think.
All right, so maybe I have to change my mind on that one.
So
Still sucks.
yeah, I could see how it would seem like like he was trying to weasel his way out of.
Right, but in this case, the Ravens were the ones telling him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from what I read. So
Steph Curry just got the biggest contract in NBA ever.
yeah, I saw that.
5 years, like 210 or 20 million.
And I saw LeBron wasn't happy about it for some reason.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't get
I
that.
think he's just saying that like you should make more, but you can't because you have Kevin Durant on your team.
Oh.
I don't know if that's true. I'm just guessing.
I thought it was funny. Everybody that jumped on the Warriors and Kevin Durant, they're like, you had to go join Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green to win a championship. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yet they forget LeBron left Cleveland the first time to join a team that was a winning team already.
No, that's different.
How's it different?
Because LeBron didn't join a team that was a winning team already.
How not?
Because it was a completely new team. The only player that they had that was on the Heat before LeBron came was Dwayne Wade.
Okay.
Everyone else was all new players.
Chris Bosh and everybody?
Yeah, everybody. They built a whole team where the Warriors already had a team and they just added Kevin Durant.
Okay. But either way.
I get what you're saying, but it is different.
Okay.
It's different. LeBron, they built a team. Yeah, they got awesome players together and built a team, but they weren't in. Durant went to a team that was in the championships 2 years in a row already.
Yeah.
No matter where LeBron goes, they're going to be in a championship.
Yeah. Do you think he'll leave Cleveland this year?
I don't think so, but people keep saying that. I feel like they're saying that just so they get the players they want.
Right.
But if I feel like, I mean, he did go back and get the championship, like you said, but I don't know.
They just need one more big name. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know who they could get though. You know who I think's really fucking annoying is that new kid that's coming in.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck's his name? I don't watch basketball. I only watch.
Yeah, the big baller brand.
Yeah. His dad's fucking annoying too.
Yeah. It's not even his son. His son doesn't even talk.
I almost want him to bust just because I'm a hater.
Because of his dad. Because his dad's a
he's
loudmouth.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't talk shit before you even get out there and start playing ball.
Yeah, sell your shoes for $500.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah. Oh, I don't like him at all.
No.
But it's not because of the kid. It's his dad.
But I still want to see him fail.
Well, no, I agree. Me too.
I'm a hater. I fuck him.
Yeah.
I don't even like basketball. I mean, I like it, but I just don't get into it. Like
too many games. Even baseball, I like it, but it's just too hard to watch.
Yeah, it's tough to sit down and watch a game at every single night of the week.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, that's why I like football. I love the UFC because it's not every day.
Yeah. Well, even the UFC is hard to keep up with, too. There's a lot.
Yeah, compared to what it used to be. Yeah. It used to be easy.
Because they are having fights like 3 times a month.
Yeah. Yeah, that's harder to keep up with, but it's still only one night a week or whatever. It's not every night.
No, true. Yeah. Unless you follow Bellator and some of the other names.
Yeah, which I do.
I want to start watching a little more Bellator. Because they are starting to get some big names in there.
Yeah, just taking all the old guys.
Well, still guys that I like.
Yeah, I know. I'm a hater in that way, though. I get it. I get Bellator's doing the right thing and paying them money, but at the same time, they had that pay per view the other day, and I was hoping they didn't sell very many pay per views.
I think seems like the fighters make out all the way around because then they can get their sponsorships, and that's where I feel the UFC fucked them. I really do. I don't know.
Well, I guess the big reason, this is one of their reasonings. Obviously, I think Reebok's not a good deal. It's not Reebok's fault. That's the UFC for
Negotiating
accepting
that
that.
deal,
Yeah. But the big thing is, from what I guess the argument is, Spike owns Bellator, right? So they can have whatever sponsors they want on their channels, but like Fox, and because the UFC is going after Fox, and once that contract's almost up and they want to negotiate with maybe ESPN or whoever, those channels don't necessarily want all those sponsorships on their channels. Like, they're not just going to give away those sponsors, you know?
No, I get it, but the fighters are the ones that suffered.
Yeah. Oh, I'm behind. Yeah. Yeah, I'm behind the fighters. I don't like,
especially the ones that don't make big money. They relied on those sponsorships.
Well, apparently the ones that don't make a lot of money didn't make a lot of money in sponsorships, but like new fighters.
Well, just even fighters that have been around for a while but don't get big pay-per-view draws and stuff.
Oh,
like
definitely.
House or
oh yeah, well, he was sponsored by like Microsoft Xbox.
Yeah, those kind of guys. I'm sure they relied on those sponsorships.
Yeah,
because they didn't get the big pay-per-view money like some of these fucking other assholes do.
Just like any other business.
Yep.
But
and that just makes no sense to me. You're an undefeated. I mean,
well, I like Mighty Mouse. Well, the problem is he doesn't sell no fucking pay-per-views.
Yeah, it just sucks.
People don't want to. They're not going to pay him but so much.
Do you consider him the best pound for pound?
I did until he doesn't want to fight TJ.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
I'm like, if you're the best,
but I get it.
I get what he's saying. I do, but at the same time, if you are the fucking best, if John Jones, which I think is the best, he's not going to turn down any opponent. No. He doesn't care if they were heavyweight and they came down. He would fight them if they were going to fight in his division.
Yeah, he would. Oh, I can't wait to see. Oh, I can't wait for that. I want to see the hamburger get handled. He talks so much shit, dude. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Oh. It'll be great.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I feel like this whole McGregor fight is really like taken away from all the other UFC fights.
Yeah.
Like I know all these other fights are on, me personally, but the one fight that I just can't stop thinking about is the Mayweather, or not think about. It's not just that, it's every single media outlet is covering the Mayweather McGregor because they can get clicks on everyone. It's the big story.
Right.
They're going to keep talking about it. They're going to get way more clicks on that headline than they are on any other fight right now.
That's going to be epic.
Yeah. It could be an epic failure, but it's still going to be.
I don't know, dude. I said it from the beginning. I think Conor's got a shot. I really do. I mean, Mayweather might box him up, but Conor, man, he's fucking tough.
Yeah.
He's only got to connect one good time. You've seen it happen. You've seen him knock people out in 40 seconds.
13. Like against Aldo. But
he's only got to connect once.
The gloves are smaller.
Yeah, but I don't know.
MMA fighters move differently.
We'll see.
I'm not. I agree with what you're saying. It's just
that's a lot of rounds to not get hit with that.
Yeah, I know. And I've seen Conor get tired after 3. 3. against Nate Diaz.
Yeah. I'm sure he's prepping.
I mean, these are 3-minute rounds, 1-minute breaks,
Mm-hmm.
so it is a little different.
I don't worry
There
about
is
that.
some.
He's not coming in. He's
Oh,
gonna.
right. There is something about him that he has that if factor, and he seems to do what no one thinks is possible.
Right.
And every time he says something, besides that first Nate Diaz fight, which wasn't even a scheduled fight, he wasn't training for him. I will give him that.
Mm-hmm.
He does what he says.
Yeah.
And if he can get, I think that's why I'm looking forward to these press conferences, because if he can get into his head and make him mad, then maybe Mayweather fight differently than normal. Because no one's ever gotten really into Mayweather's head.
But if anybody can do it, it would be Connor.
Right. I mean, that's what happened to Otto. He came running at him. He was pissed. I don't know. I feel like as we do this, we're going to be more natural. It's going to get better as we keep doing these.
I'll tell you what's another interesting fight on there. On that Jones Cormier fight.
Maya?
Yeah. I think Woodley's gonna have some trouble with Maya.
Yeah. The problem is if it's not a problem. If Maya can take him down right away,
Then yeah,
he's
Woodley's
in
gonna beat the fuck out of him.
he's in a lot of trouble. Because but every other recently, Maya has been able to
Yeah,
get on their back.
Well, his last fight he fought a striker.
Yeah, who did he fight? It was boring, but he was on his back the whole entire time. Who was that? Fuck.
What the hell's his name? I don't know.
I can't remember either, but he was on his back the whole time.
Yep.
And before that, he choked out and conned it really fast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a huge Tyron Woodley fan.
No, I really think that both those Woodley Wonder Boy fights could have gone either way, too.
Mm-hmm.
You think?
Yeah.
So
yeah, especially the last one, nothing really happened.
No. They were both staying away from each other because
yeah.
But I'd almost like to see that again.
Yeah, it's not happening. I mean, unless like something happens. And then Chris Cyborg's fighting. That's gonna be interesting. Well, it's not really gonna be. She's just gonna beat the shit out of that girl.
I feel bad for her opponent. She's gonna be getting all this frustrations, and it's gonna be bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait for that card.
I don't know. I kind of, in one way, I feel like Cyborg got a raw deal, but then in the other way, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, for the title,
just her whole situation.
I get why they had the first fight without her, because she had that issue where she got flagged. It wasn't steroids supposedly, but it was because she took medicine, but she didn't let them know. So that's her. That's on her. That's not the UFC's fault or USADA's fault. Anytime you take any medicine, you have to let them know. And she didn't, and then she got busted for it.
Right.
So that's on her. The thing where she punched a girl, I agree with her punching her, because that bitch.
I do agree, but I also think that if you're a professional, you should be professional outside of the ring or the octagon. You don't think? Yeah. I'm all for shit talking and shit, but when you get up on them stage and these guys are punching each other and stuff, I think it's bullshit.
Mm-hmm. And at least that's when they're about to fight, and there's a reason.
Yeah,
these two weren't even gonna ever fight. But at the same time, I agree with what you're saying. You do have to be professional. Football players, if they're after a game, they can't just go punch another player.
I can't walk out in the street and just start punching everybody that makes fun of me or something.
Right.
I'm gonna get in trouble.
That's
You know what I
true.
mean?
Yeah, that's true.
But
But at the same time, if you're cyberbullied,
yeah, no, I
uh,
agree.
you don't ever think it's ever going to catch up to you. So it makes it easy to bully that person.
Yeah,
And then when you actually see that person, you better expect.
I just
I
I
get both
think
sides.
yeah, but dude, who the fuck cares? What's she
Yeah.
saying about you on the internet? Like
Yeah, you're
seriously.
the best fighter in the world, best women's fighter. You shouldn't care.
Yeah, who gives a
Fo-
fuck?
Focus on fighting for the belt. Or
So
yeah, I mean, she's gonna get in trouble
now
probably. I mean,
some parts of it I could see, like they were saying, like when they were making fun of her about having a dick and stuff. And I could see her little girl having to go to school and be like
mhm.
hearing kid that part. Yeah, that's fucked up.
It was
But still,
only fucked up because Dana White was there.
yeah.
Like if it was Rogan and
Yeah, it wouldn't have been. Yeah,
Tony
they're
just
just two
talking,
comedians talking
right?
shit.
That
But
was
when the
only.
president of the company,
Well,
they're
the funny thing was they were talking about it. They were like, they were talking about having a race for UFC fighters, and they were saying why it wouldn't work.
mm-hmm.
Like fighters would get emotional and mad, and then they
What
did it,
happened?
and yeah,
So,
but they just picked the wrong one. Most people have a sense of humor.
yeah, but
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know.
I just, I guess maybe that one isn't so bad. But these guys that are going up and having the face offs and they're punching each other in the face, I think you should be like almost get disqualified or something. Like,
But the UFC, once they know they're going to sell more fights or more people are going to watch,
that's bullshit.
it's an incentive. I mean, like when Connor threw that, when they were throwing water bottles and cans,
Mm-hmm.
it made me want to watch the fight a lot more.
Yeah, I get that.
But at the same time, you're a professional athlete. It's
And I'm
not.
not saying you have to act all professional, go up there and shake hands and shit like that, but don't be punching people, punching the opponent in the face before you get in the ring.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems to be happening a lot lately.
Well, because people want to try to do what Connor's doing. And the only way they know how is talking shit and pushing
controversy.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, that was that last week's fight. Did you watch that, Kevin Lee?
no, I missed it.
So you didn't see the controversial ending?
No. What happened?
He was in a rear naked choke and he didn't tap and they stopped the fight.
Really?
And it looked like he was about to go to sleep, but he didn't. And when you're getting choked, they allow you to go to sleep. You're not supposed to stop the fight unless they tap. The only time in a submission they stop the fight is if your like arm breaks.
Yeah.
Then they stop the fight. But in this case, he didn't tap or anything, and he wasn't asleep yet. Did you see the Dana White? What Dana White posted about him? I retweeted on our page.
No, I didn't see it.
Read it. It's funny. He makes fun of the ref for making heart signals.
Heart signals.
Yeah, it's Yves Levine or whatever. You know how he does like the heart before the fight starts when they say his name?
No.
No? I don't know. You should look.
But anyway.
Yeah.
But if he was about to go to sleep, what's the big controversy?
Because he didn't.
Okay.
Because there's times
was there
where
a chance that he could have got out of it? Was he like slipping out or?
Not necessarily, but there's other fights where the guys somehow didn't go earlier in that card. There was a girl that was in a same kind of choke, not the exact same kind of choke, but she was choked and it looked like she was going to tap, and she didn't. And somehow the other girl's arms got tired and she got out.
I can see that. Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, we're all over the place in this thing. We went from talking about
minimum wage to
fighting. No, we'll have a good. We'll get this down. Yeah, everyone's saying that Pacquiao shouldn't have taken that fight there. Some people are saying it's because of the commentary team that made it look like Pacquiao was winning.
Mm.
The way they were talking about it.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
I'm just not into boxing that much.
Yeah. I like it, but I agree. I like it because when I'm practicing on the bag and stuff, I'm getting my skills down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching. Have you been working out?
Oh my! I gotta get me a more comfortable chair.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. All right. Well, you want to end this and then we'll.
Yeah, I'm ready
I
for
think
bed.
we should start doing this like Tuesdays and Thursdays or something.
Right.
It doesn't have to be those days. I'm just saying, like,
We'll be a little more prepared.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I was half drunk before this
I
one.
just want to get our first one in
Yeah,
because we've been talking about this for the past several months.
right. Yeah, we won't get no views anyway.
Anyway.
But we will start pumping these out.
And it'll be more entertaining
Yeah,
because it won't be at 1:30 at night or in
right.
the morning.
No, and I'm not gonna start half drunk. I'm gonna start drinking when I start. No, no, be all right. All right. Well, we'll figure this out, and then I'm gonna figure out how to do all this.
All right. This was Dad's Unfiltered. Deuces. I'm out.